Good afternoon. So today I'm making a kimchi pancake using a recipe from the New York Times. But instead of using separate cups of potato starch, flour, baking powder, etc., I bought some Korean pancake mix, which has all of those ingredients in it. I'm surprised the Times isn't aware that there is such a thing. I'm also preparing japchae, the sweet potato noodles, Korean sweet potato noodles with these vegetables that I'm sweating and over a very low heat. The japchae also includes spinach, sesame oil, and then a couple of nice teaspoonfuls of soy sauce. The one thing the pancake powder doesn't have is a teaspoon of garlic powder that's called for. And there's a pinch of sea salt. So now I need a heaping cup of kimchi, plus a quarter cup of kimchi juice, 2 scallions chopped, 2 tablespoons of gochujang, that's the red pepper paste, teaspoon of granulated sugar. I'm going to eliminate that. I don't need sugar. Teaspoon of fish sauce. I have fish sauce. And 3 tablespoons of a neutral oil such as canola. I'm going to be using avocado. Preparing the japchae, so I grabbed a fistful of the what they call glass noodles, or sweet potato or sweet yam noodles. And this one calls for boiling water, cook about 10 minutes. Others usually it's about 5 minutes, so I'm going to set the timer for 5 and see how it comes out. I'm using a heaping cup of kimchi from Arirang in Ridgefield, New Jersey. You'll find it in the same shopping center as the HNY Marketplace. So the japchae is finished. Now I'm starting on the kimchi pancakes. So here's the mixture of kimchi juice, gochujang, a couple of scallions, and I also use some hot Korean peppers reserved from the prepared tofu and palak that we buy at the H-Mart, the Korean supermarket. The plan is to mix the flour into the kimchi mixture and then cook it in a cast iron skillet. Instructions are to set a 10-inch cast iron skillet over medium heat, and then when it's hot, I'm not sure you're supposed to tell if it's hot, you add some 1.5 teaspoons of oil and then the mixture. It also calls for a teaspoon of fish sauce. So after you add the oil, 1.5 tablespoons of oil, I use sesame oil. There's no specific oils mentioned in the recipe. Then when it shimmers, you add half of the batter in the center and then spread it out towards the sides, which I've done. And then the instructions are, after a minute or so, take a metal spatula and see if you can separate it from the pan if you have to. Here's a forkful of the japchae with spinach and carrots. Of course, the problem here is to flip this pancake. This is one of those recipes where you have to put a plate on top of the skillet, turn it over, and then slide the pancake back so this top half can cook. There are lots of recipes for frittatas where you do the same thing, but of course I make a no-flip frittata by finishing it under the broiler. I'm not sure I can do that here, but maybe I can. So I'm going to try putting this under the broiler. I'm just going to take off this silicone handle and see how that works on a low setting. So it looks like the pancake is sort of a disaster. It tastes okay, but it doesn't look great, and it was very difficult to flip. But the japchae came out great. We have a giant pan of the japchae with spinach, carrots, sweet peppers. I'm going to use more oil than the first time, and I still have to cook half of that batter. And I lowered the flame a bit so it doesn't burn. I followed the measurements in the time recipe, but this may be too thick of a pancake. It might be better to make this in the larger, have a larger cast iron skillet. It tastes pretty good, but just doesn't have any eye appeal. So there's my colorful Korean dinner. Healthy too, no meat. Some great organic vegetables here. The kimchi pancake is a work in progress, but I'm going to enjoy it anyway. So this time I cut the pancake in half with the spatula and turned each half separately. It's still sort of messy, but I don't know why this side is cooked more than this side. I'm not sure, it's sort of sunk over here. Okay, so that's my Korean dinner. Enjoy.